Hi, and welcome to week 4 of the high school football season. I'm Kelly Hines with TulsaWorld.com, here with Barry Lewis. Now, Barry, this is the first week of district play. What are your thoughts?
Well, after 3 weeks of a lot of marquee matchups and non-district games, it's ironic that this week there really aren't that many marquee matchups, but this is the first week of the season where it really counts for area teams in classes 2A through 6A. This is the first week that the games and the results that are played really have a bearing on the postseason. So some coaches, in fact, view the first 3 weeks of the season sort of as a preseason. Everyone, in a sense, starts 0-0 this week. So even though there aren't a lot of marquee matchups this week, in a sense, it gets interesting in another way because the games really do count. And Kelly, who are some of the players that have impressed you during the first 3 weeks of the season?
Well, there are a couple. I would say Levi Browning from Catoosa. He has his team off to a 3-0 start, which is pretty good. He has rushed for almost 500 yards already. He had 5 touchdowns against Fort Gibson last week. And then on defense, he's playing really well. Also had 20 tackles last week. And another running back who has impressed me is Austin Morris from Bishop Kelly. He played well last week and rushed for more than 200 yards against Coweta, and he's off to a good year as well. Who are some guys who have impressed you?
Well, Blaise Walser, Union's standout linebacker. I knew going into the season that he was good because for 3 years, he's been a key factor on their defense, and this year, he entered the season 80 tackles away from being Union's all-time tackles leader. So I knew he was good going into the season. We had him in our all-world rankings, preseason top 10, but he's even been better than I've ever seen him play before in the first 3 weeks of the season. Union's defense has been outstanding. Blaise Walser has been a big part of it. And he said going into the season that he felt, because his knee is totally healthy this year, he didn't have to wear a knee brace, that he was going to be better than ever, and he has. And also someone who's also exceeded my expectations has been Wagner's Kevin Peterson. Again, I knew Kevin is really good, very highly recruited, but he's even been better than expected, surpassed my expectations. It seems like whenever Wagner's needed a big play, he's delivered, whether on offense, defense, or special teams. And Kelly, we got a few interesting matchups this week. What's the most interesting one for you?
I would say Skiatook Booker T. Washington would have to be my upset pick of the week. The Bulldogs beat Bartlesville last week, which I don't think any of us picked that game correctly. And Booker T. is off to an 0-3 start. Just things are not going well for them right now. And the offense has scored only 2 touchdowns this year. So with the Bulldogs playing as well as they are, I would have to pick them over Booker T. this week. What about you?
Well, the game I'm going to is McLean at Catoosa. Last year, Catoosa routed McLean, but McLean is much better this season. Both teams are in our 4A top 10. I think McLean is going to give Catoosa a pretty good game. So it'll be a very interesting matchup. McLean has a very fast, quick defense. Catoosa's offense has really been strong this year. And so it's going to be a very interesting matchup. And also, something that intrigues me is Memorial at McAllister. Memorial's coming off 2 straight wins. And, of course, McAllister, one of the top teams in 5A, they had a scare last week from Ardmore. So that's a very interesting matchup as well. A couple others to watch for. Verdigris at Tahlequah Sequoia. Both teams are 3-0. Both teams have great offenses. And also Sapulpa at Norman. Sapulpa's 3-0 in our top 10 for the first time since 2005. They really believe they can beat anybody. What a dramatic victory they had last week. So Sapulpa at Norman, that's going to be another outstanding matchup.
All right, well, that's all we have time for this week. Be sure to watch TulsaWorld.com for updates during the games.